Okay. Hello, Lucas Nation fans. Welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Very excited to be coming back with the Lucas Chat podcast today. Today is a special treat because, as you guys can see, I'm recording in the studio and I have my microphone hooked up and my sound system's down here and I'm recording, but I'm actually recording this live for live.me and Instagram. So hopefully you guys enjoy the podcast show today. Wanted to do something different for today. I know we've been doing podcasts for a very long time now, so I really wanted to do something out of my element. So this is a new surprise. You know, a lot of people are joined in for the Lucas Chat podcast live stream. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll read them. Again, we're streaming it off of live.me on K.L.P Entertainment's channel, and of course on Instagram via Hoststream Studios. If you don't follow Hoststream Studios, it's just Hoststream Studios on Instagram. And if you don't follow me on Instagram on live.me, it is live.me K.L.P. So, you know, go check that out. So as we get a new person here today, Garden Heart says, "How are you doing?" I'm doing fantastic. I'm having a great day so far. You know, did some laundry, went to the store to study, got my finals done, and uploaded a new vlog. K.L.P Takes Miami. So go check it out. Now today's topic. Today we're talking about something very spectacular. Again, this is a movie segment. We always like to talk about movies. And again, if you guys really do enjoy the live stream, let me know. And welcome. Lucas Chat Podcast. This is the setup, and hopefully you guys, enjoy the live stream. So today we're here to talk about a new hit movie, Thor Ragnarok. Of course, new movie that came out November 3rd. It came out in the U.S. And this movie is different. This movie is a little bit different for sure. It's not your average Marvel movie. This movie really brought up its elements, and it's really not emotional, but it's very action-packed, filled with family situations. So this movie is fantastic. It's Thor Ragnarok, of course, and in prison on the other side of the universe, the mighty Thor finds himself in a deadly contest that puts him against the Hulk, his former ally and fellow Avenger. Thor's guess for survival leads him in a race against time to prevent all-powerful Hela from destroying the home world of Asgard and Asgardian civilians. So it's really different with this movie. You really get to expand more of the Thor series. Of course, you have Mark Ruffalo playing Hulk, and of course, you got Thor, and then you got Loki. You got all these other characters in the Thor series, and of course, you got Idris Elba and Jeff Goldblum's also in the movie. So this movie is very different. You have sort of two villains, but not really. You have a main villain and a side villain, and of course, you've got another villain who turns good at the end of the movie, which I know he's gonna do. They're really lining this up for Avengers: Infinity War, to be sure. This movie it really lines it up for what is coming up with the Avengers and the new stuff in 2018. Of course, if you haven't seen this movie, please go see it. But again, spoiler alert, I'm going to say some things that you may not know about the movie yet, because maybe you haven't seen the movie. So I advise you guys, go see the movie if you haven't seen it for sure, because this movie is fantastic. This is actually one of the better Marvel movies that I've seen as of yet. Again, I might be tuning my own horn here. It might be different for what I'm seeing. Of course, Black Panther's coming out in February, which I will be out there to go see. Of course, the Avengers: Infinity War comes out in May of 2018, which I am also going out to go see that film. Of course, Thor, he gets a haircut. He loses his eye, just like his father. He loses I believe it's his right or left eye. I can't really remember. I think it's the left eye he lost in the battle against Hela. Of course, they come together to form this giant monster that destroys Asgard, which leads them out of a world, out of civilization, and they're coming back to Earth, which again is lining up for the Infinity War series. This movie in box office, get this, y'all. This movie raised $816.4 million US. Again, the movie's budget was $180 million, and now they reach over $800 million in sales. So again, this movie did really well, because I always say in movies, because I'm a movie maker and I'm a director too. When you find your niche and you find your budget for your movie, and you make 10 times or twice as much more than what you put in, that is a huge investment. Which is very phenomenal with this kind of movie because this was just that good of a movie. Of course, in this movie you learn that Thor he uses his hammer at the beginning of the film, but then he is going out of his element, Hela destroys his hammer, and now he learns to unleash his powers without the hammer. Again, Oden, Thor's father, said that you don't really need the hammer. You need the hammer to control your power, but you can do without it. So again, I'm excited to see how they're gonna do for Avengers: Infinity War with Thor without his hammer. His hammer's completely destroyed, but he has the same amount of power. Again, so excited for that. Of course, again, I'm still kind of shocked because $180 million and you raise over $800 million in sales with your movie. That's really, really good. Of course, you got Tessa Thompson is also in the movie. Very, very nice to have her in the movie. Of course, Chris Hemsworth, we all know Thor. Let's see, who else is it? Jeff Goldblum. Stan Lee makes an appearance. Again, it never fails with each Marvel movie. Stan Lee has to make an appearance. He has to have a sort of appearance with this movie because we all know Stan Lee. He is the top producer. He is the man that I want to meet one day, who does this kind of movies. And then we have a whole bunch of other actors that I really don't know about. Of course, it says here you got 2 people playing the Hulk, so I'm. Lou Ferrigno, if I pronounce these last names wrong, I'm sorry. And I guess they tag team on that, of course. I can actually see on Mark Raphael's Instagram, I see how they make Hulk. It's like motion capture, but I'm still kind of wondering how they do it because they dress Mark Raphael up in a motion sensor suit like they do in like video games. Like if you look back in Uncharted, it's all motion censored and they do it that way. But how they make Hulk, they really censor him out, which is kind of exciting to me because I thought it was just CGI. I thought it was just a CGI motion. I didn't think they actually added motion capture. So I was very ecstatic when I saw it on Mark Raphael's Instagram. I see how they do it. Of course, Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 92% satisfaction rate. Again, very, very. I must say my catchphrase. Very swanky that they really implemented this movie to be a 92% from Rotten Tomatoes. That must mean that this movie is a kick-ass movie. I suggest you guys to go see this movie. It's phenomenal, and you got Loki in there. Loki's the bad guy at the beginning of the film, but now he's turning good and he's actually having a different light. That's also good for that as well because they're having a different light for Loki. Again, very, very excited for this movie to really do really well. Again, this movie is just expanding. I want to know what they're going to do for Infinity War. Of course, there's no Asgard anymore after this movie. The action pack was filled. It's very storytelling. You can tell that fighting scenes were motion capture mixed with CGI, but it blended in well. It mixed well with the movie. So I like it when movies, when they use CGI, because I use CGI myself, they use CGI in their films and it clicks and it mixes well. I always look for that in a movie. If a movie has CGI and it's very cheaply made, then it's not going to be a very good movie. But with this movie, they're using high quality CGI. They have technicians, they got cameramen, they have videographers, they have cinematographers. They got all these people who are really doing this out their element, and I'm very, very excited to see how this movie will grow on an impact for this. So that will do it for the Lucas Chad podcast for today. Please stay tuned with Tard Lester's segment. He's going to be talking about Justice League. Of course, we split it up this weekend because it is season finale weekend for the Lucas Chat podcast. For those of you who didn't know, I didn't really mention it, but it's Season 7 finale for this weekend. I can't wait for Season 8 to come back in spring. Hopefully you guys look forward to more podcasts because we got so much other things to talk about. Again, stay tuned for Tyra's listeners. I think he's just going to do it in the studio. I don't think he's going to do a live stream for this weekend. But, stay tuned for the Lucas Chat podcast only at K.L.P Entertainment YouTube channel. You go to youtube.com, type in K.L.P Entertainment. We're number one in the search box. And you guys look that up and you see the Lucas Chat podcast playlist. And as well with all other shows and talk shows and series shows and other things we do on the YouTube channel. Please stay tuned again for the Weekend Show episode 100. 100 episodes later. The Weekend Show will be premiered this weekend, so stay tuned for that as well. Please remember to like, comment, and share all of my social media accounts down below, and hopefully you guys have a swanky day, and, go Lucas Nation fans. This has been the Lucas Chat Podcast with your host, Kennedy Lucas, logging out.